Thank you for watching this video. What I've got here is something that I think confirms that, at least to me, that DraftKings will rig a contest, especially the one I played in last night, MMA contest. And I've suspected things before, but even with the football and basketball ones I've played, but this one takes the cake. So what I'm playing here is, first let me go back to this other one from last night. There's a couple of games I played in. Same thing happened in both games. So the game is $5 triple up. You bet $5 to win 15, 31 teams. It's single entry, and so 9 positions are paid. So you got to get in the top 9. And you got 31 entries, and you don't have to worry about somebody having 6 or 7 lineups thrown in theory. But here's what happened. In this contest, once the fight was over, and unfortunately, I didn't watch this unroll during the fights. I was actually watching the fights themselves, the UFC on pay-per-view. So all of a sudden, here at the end of the night, we got, starting with BD Holler 89 through Old T, you got 7 players, we'll call them, who all have 522.5 points. And just to show, this is Old T's lineup we're looking at here. Bektic, Blades, Covington, Dos Anjos, Gadelha, Romero. So then we'll go up the line and see that the same lineup is done for all of these players. So out of 31 people that enter, somehow magically 7 people pick the exact same lineup. I know you say, well, that's possible, I guess. But here's what's really weird about it. This column shows the actual fights that the fighter fought in. Romero was in the main event, the #1 fight. These 2 guys in the middle, Covington and Dos Anjos, fought each other in the the next to last fight, #2 fight. And this is a weird strategy that you would have anyone pick both fighters from the same fight, because obviously if you do like in a fight where someone wins in the first round by knocking the other guy out, then the points that the loser gets is very little, and then the average for the 2 is not that great. Yet, what happened in that fight, these guys went to the full fight. It didn't, no one got knocked out or submitted. So the winner had 120 points. The loser had 70, which is a pretty good total for a loser. So together, that's 190 points from those 2 guys. And yet, somehow, just magically, 7 players decide this is a great strategy that I'm going to pick in the next last fight of the night out of, and there were there were 13 fights last night. This includes the prelims. So when you have all those fights, somehow you magically pick out that, yeah, in the next last fight of the night, I'm going to pick both fighters, and this is going to, accrue us 190 points all of a sudden. So it's just an amazing strategy I've not really seen. I've even tried to employ it a couple of times. It just doesn't work, really, I don't think. And not to mention, all these months I've been doing this, I've rarely seen that employed by any winner, much less to see 7 do it in one night. Then the other game I was in, again, same kind of game. I played the triple up, $5 in, 31 teams, no multiple entries. But guess what happened again? The same magical lineup yields of 522.5 points. This time in this contest, 9. Yep, 9. The same number of paid positions. It's starting with this guy right here, GQINX. I don't know how that would be pronounced. Doesn't matter, because he's a bot, because he has that lineup. Mach 11 has that lineup. Paul Wick has a lineup. Old T, Holla 89. Now, even more interesting, there's a couple of these names that aren't in the other game that I lost. So not only do we have the 7, you would have thought, well, maybe it's the same 7 and then a couple more. Pretty much. Suddenly we have another new, like Nikki Noodles 19, also magically. And finally Chaos M83. So straight up, you got 9 players that ran the same bizarre lineup featuring both fighters from the same fight and magically catapulting themselves above everybody with 522.5 points. You know, it's really a shame because as much as I like daily fantasy sports, I've always had an inkling that the bots are there and that the house is, you know, leaning on you and cheating. But boy, this result from watching, or at least these games I played on UFC while watching UFC 225, pretty much confirmed it to me that, yeah, these guys, unfortunately, they are cheating. It's rigged. So that's the gist of it, people. If you have your own experiences, I'd be glad to see comments about it, or if you could post it. And thank you for watching this video, and have a good one.